Hi everyone. Am I audible now? Can someone confirm if am I audible now? Am I audible? Okay. Were you able to hear me for past around 10 minutes or not? Okay, I'll start again if you were not able to hear me. I will start again from the very beginning. Is that okay with everyone? Then I'll start again. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so you can see my screen, right? How to prep for GD. Okay, so I'll start. I'll start from here. Maybe there was an issue with my audio. Okay, so first in this first minute, I'll talk about my journey, and then we'll talk about what do we have for the whole GDPI prep. So, so I have done my MBA from IIM Calcutta, and I had got calls from all the IIMs except for Ahmedabad and Bangalore. And luckily, I converted all the calls from all the IIMs, and it was a lot of guidance and prep which helped me in cracking these GDPIs. So cracking CAT is one part of the journey, just first half of the journey. The next half of the journey comes when you crack the GDPIs. And believe me when I'm say this, that I was not good at this part. So cracking CAT was the easier part for me, but cracking GDPI was the difficult part for me. And I was not very well equipped with current affairs, not very well equipped with personal interviews. But at that point of time, I prepped really well for this, and because of that effort, I was able to clear all the GDN PIs and VATs. Now, why I am telling this story to you is because anyone who has got call from any B school can also convert 100% of the call if they just prep it in a right manner. So just like CAT, where you prep for CAT by solving questions, doing mock exams. Similarly, you have to prep for GDPI as well. It's not something that okay, maybe I'm reading some newspaper and that is enough to clear my GDNPIs. You have to put deliberate effort on each and every part, each and every element on GDPI and VAT, so that you are able to clear and convert 100% of your calls. And if you get a call, I mean, you already know getting a call itself is not a easy task. If you get a call and then you are not able to convert it, it is just sad that even after so much effort, you're not able to convert. So just make this make up this thought process, this will in your mind at this point of time, that whatever calls I get, I have to convert them. no matter what it takes, how much prep I need to do, but I will convert all my calls. Now, how to do it? So we'll be covering it shortly in each and every slide, and how can you be well equipped to do so. To start with, why GD? Why B school have GD in their part of their prep? Why uh, why are they doing it after they have CAT examination and they can simply take the interview? Why group discussion? So the reason for having the group discussion is in B school also, when you get into B school, lot of learning happens through case discussions. And in case discussion, you people you in B school, people come from different backgrounds, and you need to come together and discuss topics, discuss the case, and come up with a unique solution. And to get that solution, it is very important that you build on each other's point, build on each other's viewpoint, uh, argue, counter argue someone else's argument, so that you are able to come up with the best solution possible. And same goes for in your corporate life as well. So it becomes very important part that you are able to work as a group, not just as an individual. That's the reason why B school have this group discussion. Now, what are we going to talk today in this session is, first of all, what are the key pointers to remember in GD? How can we perform really well in a group discussion? Is it possible to prep all topics, and what to do if I have not prepped for any topic? And how MBAP can help you in your whole plan for GD prep. First, starting with, is it possible to prep for all the topics for GD? Ideally, no, but you can easily prep for 80 to 90% of the topic that can be possibly asked in the exam. How? Because most of the topics comes either from current affairs, or something which is recently happened, or something which is important at this point of time. So current affairs and all the news which is or a lot of updates that have happened recently. So if you are able to crack that part, you can assume that 80% of your topics are covered. After that, of course, there are few abstract topics, but in abstract topics also you can use the stories and facts that you have learned in the current affairs part, and uh, use those pointers in your abstract topic as well, and I'll cover that part in this session later. Is there any language barrier for GDPI? Okay, so all the GDPI happens in English only. As far as I know, all the B school, yeah, the GDs or PIs happen will happen in English only. Yeah, it'll always be English, and if you speak a sentence in Hindi, or in a local language, or few words in a local language, I'm not saying it is bad or offensive, but it is not. It is definitely not a positive point if you use local language. So to answer your question in one word, yes, the language is English only. I hope that answers your question, Aniket. I hope I answered your question, Aniket. Okay. So, moving on, what are the key pointers that we need to ensure when we are, uh, how much period do you mean recent times, exact period? So, current affairs, you can broadly say past 6 months are I mean, most of the topics will be for past 6 months, and some of them you can say for past 1 year, but 6 months is a good time to start with. So whatever has happened in past 6 months will be considered as a recent topic, or will be considered as current affair. Yeah. Any other question, or I can move forward then? Okay, I'll move forward then. So, what are the key pointers to remember in GD? So, the first point is be apt and crisp with your pointers. So, usually it happens, and I'm sure you will, I mean, you also face this, that a group discussion becomes a fish market, which means everybody is saying their own points, nobody is listening to each other, everybody just wants to make their own points and move on, which becomes a huge negative point not just for that individual but also for that whole group. So whenever you are speaking, you have to be very apt and crisp with the pointer. And what do I mean by apt and crisp? Like before, whenever you want to speak something, first just write down few words in your rough page that you will be using at that point of time, that what do you want to talk about. Don't start randomly, don't just start abruptly and start talking, and then in between your sentences you realize that you don't know where to go with these sentences. So in every GD usually they give 1 minute 2 minute to think and jot down your thoughts and then start. So whenever you are trying, I mean, in that time also you should write down your thoughts, and in the GD itself, before making any point, just ensure what you want to talk about and just be very concise in your points, because everybody wants to make a point, and if you are speaking gibberish, if you are speaking a point and you are just stretching it and just you are just going on and on, somebody will cut you, and they will build on your point that you are not able to make. So the chance when you get to speak in a GD, it's that golden moment that you have to make use of that time properly. Okay. Now, next point is make your presence felt, and this becomes very important in the start and end of the GD. So what do I mean by make your presence felt? In GD there are 10 people. Everybody, everyone made few points, but whom will the panel remember? Panel will only remember people who made their presence felt. And how do you do that? Well, first, as I said earlier, you have to be very apt and crisp with your pointers. So that even in that 1 minute 30 seconds you are talking, the panel is able to see, the judges are able to see that yes, this guy is making some really good points. So they also have a marking sheet in their hand, so they can give you points and they can clearly remember that, yes, this guy made a very good point. If you come multiple times into a GD but you are not able to make any good point, all those entries will be wasted. So even if you come 1 2 or 3 times in a GD, just make your presence felt. The best way to do it is to start and end the GD. So if you have any good point to start the GD, because most of the time is the easiest thing to do, because you will know something about the topic and you can just start the GD by summarizing the topic once and putting a flow to it, putting a structure to it, and just stating your comments in the start. That's the best way to do it. Same goes for towards the end. When the time is ending, you can bring a structure to your discussions, to your conversation, and quickly summarize everything that has been discussed and what is the conclusion for that group discussion. Usually when you are able to not you're not able to speak in the whole GD, usually the panel will ask you to summarize. So if you are a type of person who is not able to speak among all these people, they will usually ask you to summarize the whole discussion, and that becomes your golden moment, that even in that 30 seconds 1 minute you are summarizing that whole discussion in a very good structured manner, so that they are able to feel your presence, that yes, this is the guy who was not able to speak in the whole GD, but towards the end he summarized the complete discussion very well. So again you get few pointers for that. Okay, now moving ahead, know about the current affairs. So as I said earlier, you have to know about the current affairs because this is not something you can ignore. This is not something you can take it with that you can take lightly, because as I said, 70 to 80% topics will be around current affairs or will be based on current affairs. So you have to prep for it. The good thing is, you guys, since you are attending this session, I hope when you get a call you already have a advantage that you know this from the start. So even if you start today, you still have at least 1 month before you start getting the calls, or at least 2 months before the interview. And 2 months is a really good time to prep your current affairs and some general knowledge, basis which you can really make some good points in the discussion. So start reading good newspapers, business newspapers, and editorials. Or if not that, you can, lot of websites offer this summary of the topics that can possibly come into a group discussion. You can start that. And or when you join our course from 4th January, we'll also take you through all the current affairs topic and important topics, and we'll call the experts in those areas to take you through those topics, so you are well prepped for all the possible topics that can come around current affairs. Then be prepped for abstract topics as well. So sometimes they can give you abstract topic like sky is blue. Is the sky really blue? And you have to uh, give a do a group discussion around it. Now, what happens in an abstract topic is, the best way to handle such topic is to link it to a story or link it to a current affair topic which resembles it the most. So, if somebody says sky is not blue, so you can talk about the amount of air pollution that we have, because of which sky is not blue, and you can talk about the farmers protest into that topic. So there are a lot of ways where you can handle abstract topic, but you will be only able to link that topic to a current affair because if you are well versed with the current affairs. So it's very important that you are not only reading current affairs, but you have your own perspective, you have in-depth detail of their topic, so that you are able to modify and come up with your own perspective and handle such topics easily. Next is always respect your peers in a GD. So as I said in the first point, it will happen that sometime it will become a fish market. Everybody will be screaming and everyone will be loud. Now you have to make your presence felt. So if somebody is talking loud, you also have to raise your voice a little bit. But at the same time, you have to respect your peers, because that is again one of the things that they will be seeing and watching you, that how are you respecting your peers. Now how can you do that? There are multiple ways to do it. First thing is, whenever you are building uh, your thought over someone else's thought, recognize and acknowledge his pointers. So you can say, so as my friend Abhishek was saying that such things happen sometimes, I would like to add on to that point by saying whatever you want to add. Or you can say, my friend here made a very good point, but I think another way of looking at would be my point, which is whatever you want to say. So it just goes to show that you are not only thinking about your point, that whenever I get a chance and I speak it out, you are also listening to other people. So listening also becomes very important part of their group discussion, that you are not, because sometimes it will happen, and I'll talk about that later also, that you will not know about the topic at all, or you know very little. So in that case, it becomes even more important that you listen to other people points and try to summarize, try to build on their points, and try to come up with your own ideas basis those points. So it becomes really important that you listen to each point very carefully, and never cut someone in between abruptly. The best tip for this is get a sense that someone is about to finish their point. Somebody has already speaking for some time, 1 minute 30 seconds, and now they are about to speak, about to end their sentence, and that is when you start. You don't wait for them to end, but whenever they are towards their end of their sentence, you start speaking. So that is how you can get more chances to speak. Next is state facts and stats to get brownie points. So because most of the students there will be just talking about uh, broad ideas, broad details. So if it's talking about air pollution or farmers protest, they'll be just talking about, yeah, this is good, this is bad. In that whole discussion, whosoever brings stats and facts that in this year this happened because of which such and such thing happened, that is why it makes sense now. Or so much pollution comes from cars, so much pollution comes from factories, and so and so much comes from let's say by burning of their crops. So it's not a very important number to look at. So whosoever gives those numbers, those facts and those stats will always get brownie points, because most of the students will be just talking about in circles about only ideas. So and the only way to do it is that you prep very well for the topic, and you on top of all the general topics that you prep, you also prep at least 20 30 pointers in your mind. So just giving you broad example, what is the literacy rate in India, what is the GDP of India, what is the GDP growth rate. So these kind of number on overall economics and country will help you in many topics. You can use these numbers anywhere, and whenever you talk numbers, you give stats, you it just add credibility to your points. So then it looks like that this person genuinely knows about the topic and he knows about what he's talking about. So that really that will give you a lot of brownie points if you really do a good prep for this. So these are few pointers or suggestion from my side that you can, whenever you are in a GD, you should try to remember this point, which will help you in getting a good GD score. Aniket has a question. Is it necessary that the topic for GD will be from politics, business, or corporate related? No, it's not necessary. I mean, I can just broadly throw a number that yes, 60, 70, or even 80% will be from these three, but topic can come from abstract discussion also. And apart from politics, business, and corporate, it could be also one area of topics comes from social issues. So if you combine politics, business, corporate, and social issues, yes, these will broadly cover your 80 90% of your topics. Rest 10 15% will be abstract topics. Social issues could be education, pollution, child health, and LGBT community, and so on and so forth. So 80 90% topics will be coming from these broad categories, and rest could be abstract topics. I hope that answers your question, Aniket. Yeah. Any other question on GD, on how to prep, or yeah, I'm getting one more question. How is our personal political view received by the panelist? So there is no straightforward answer to this, Kashif, if I am pronouncing your name right. Uh, your views are really important for the panelist. Having said that, it's not about your personal view, it's about you the arguments that you make uh, towards the pointers. For example, if topic say if a topic comes, let's say a controversial topic, 370 should be removed, article 370 from constitution. And So I know it's very easy to speak on the false idea we should never remove 370, Kashmir is integral part of India, and we can all say that. Having said that, if we speak on the opposite side, that yes, 370 should be revoked, uh, if you are able to back that points with some data and some stats, you will be the star of the GD, because you are a person who is taking a stance that is not taken by most of the people in the GD. So whenever you take a opposite stance which is not favorable to everyone, if you have good stats, so it's a very risky situation to be in. If you have good facts, good stats, you can present your own personal political view, and you can be the star of the GD. At the same time, if you are not able to do it, it gives a very bad impression. So to answer your question, they are not judging you on your personal view, but they are judging you on the uh, facts and stats and arguments that you are making uh, in favor of or against the topic. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, yes. So you should take a stand. You can take any stand. It could be anything. It could be totally opposite of the people's opinion. But you should be able to back that view with stat and logical arguments. Yes. So you can do that. Om Prakash ji, I can discuss that with you separately. You can just reach out to MBAP contact number, and we can discuss that question separately. Any question on group discussion on GDPI overall that you want me to talk about, or anything that you think I should cover in next few minutes? Because from pointer side, I am done from my side. I can just take questions, whatever you want to ask. You can ask me right now. Aniket, okay, this question. Okay. Do we have to make discussion complex for showing our knowledge? Also complex. I will not say, Aniket, that is a good strategy. So always keep that discussion. So I mean, it's a difficult question in the sense you should try to come up with as many points, as many facts, and many logical arguments that you can. If that is making the discussion complex, it's a good thing to do. Don't make the uh, topic complex or the discussion complex just for the sake of it. Same goes for complex abbreviations. So don't use unnecessary abbreviations. Having said that, if you are aware of any abbreviation, any data, any facts, which is making the whole discussion fruitful, please go ahead and use those abbreviations. So any facts, so basically in one line, anything that you think makes the whole discussion meaningful, it adds value to the discussion, you should make that point, be it abbreviations or be it making the discussion complex. So you should do it as long as it is adding value to the discussion, because sometimes it happens that people do not know about the topic and they are just talking randomly and they are not making sense just to add complexity. Then it is noted as a negative mark. Otherwise, you can always use abbreviations or facts or stats or complex arguments to make your point. Any other question? Any other question you want me to answer? Anything you want to ask? Okay. Uh, how to find internships? So, okay, so Vinayak, as far as I know, these days there are a lot of companies, lot of startups, lot of websites which are helping students finding internships and good internships. Some of them are paid, some of them are not paid. But if I'm assuming you're talking from a interview perspective that you have relevant experience in your resume. So there are a lot of websites. I mean, if you just Google this um, short-term internships on Google, you'll get a lot of companies which are offering internships. Even other job portals are also now offering internships because of this COVID situation, because a lot of people have lost their jobs. So they are also now offering internships. So you can quickly find good internships on these websites. Just the only tip is don't do internship just for the sake of it. Spend some time, talk to few people, and find some connection through which you can get a meaningful internship. Yeah, so you can easily get an internship, Vinayak, if you just search on 2 3 portals. I'll also search if I can do that right now and paste here, or you can also search, just go to those top three four websites, and you can find a lot of options of internships these days. It's not a challenge at all. So I'm not sure about intern Shala. So I have not used it or seen it. But my point is, there are a lot of good companies, lot of good websites which are offering good internships. Any other question, guys? Yeah, Vinayak, LinkedIn could be one very good portal to do so. Yes, you can reach out to people for internships. Any other question, guys, or we can close the session. Vinayak, so your question is a very subjective questions. If you're talking about is this your 10th, 12th, and graduation percentage, if that is the case, then I think it's a very good profile. Uh, because in most of the uh, colleges, this will be qualified. I mean, you will get the highest marks for maybe in the 12th. Yeah, you get some less marks, but most of the in all the 3, 10, 12th, and BTech in graduation, you have scored good marks. So I think it's a good profile, but again, that's a very subjective question. And to be very honest, you don't need to ask me. You can simply go in the selection criteria of all the IIMs and other colleges. They tell you how much marks they give to what percentage. So in 10th, how much marks you will have, and against how much score they will do. Similarly for 12th, similarly for graduation, and you can calculate your profile score basis that. So it depends a lot on college. Some colleges give a lot of weightages to 10th, 12th, and graduation. Some colleges don't give any weightages to these parameters. It's a subjective questions, and you can go college by college and check their parameters and to see if your profile fits or not. Yeah. So if you have any other questions on group discussion, I can answer it. Otherwise, we can close the session for now. Any other question on group discussion? Okay then. PI, we had a session before on PI, Aniket. I'm not sure if you attended that session. We'll have the next session on students with different backgrounds. We'll cover some part of PI in that session as well. And obviously, after fourth, we'll be starting our detailed course on GDPI, so you can attend that as well. Okay, so if there are no more questions, then we can stop here. Uh, IMT Ghaziabad percentile. As far as I remember, people with 93, 92 percentile have also got calls. So I will take that as a reference. But of course, it depends. It changes every year. But as far as I know, it's about 93 plus percentile. You can get a call from IMT Ghaziabad. All right then. So we'll see you next week on similar time, 9 p.m. when we discuss our last topic for this four lecture series, which is prep for students with different backgrounds. So we'll have that session on 3rd January, and from 4th January we'll be launching our detailed WAD GDPI batch. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, guys, for attending this. I hope this was helpful and I was able to add value. You will get the detail, Om Prakash ji, you will get the details for the course of GDPI, but it will not be much. This will be very small fees for the GDPI part. Also, we'll cover the details of the price, timing, content, everything in the 3rd Jan lecture. So please attend the 3rd January lecture as well. Thank you everyone for attending.